Hey guys, Chef Jojo with ECO, and on this episode we're going to talk about sell out or upsell, how to climb that corporate ladder or just the ladder in general in our industry. And as always, we're going to discuss this topic over a shift drink. Well, tonight's shift drink is Allagash River Trip, Belgian style session ale. So far, I'm enjoying the absolute heck out of it. Sell out or sell up. I got to give a shout out. I was going through some of my comments and I was talking to some of you all, and Mad Mark Thompson at the last part of his comment said, "How do you climb the ladder?" And you guys, I guess it's something that, I've had a good career. I'm very pleased with how far I've gone and where I've gotten. But as you can see, I am not wearing ECO gear. In fact, I'm wearing my my readers, AKA the progressives, as I've gotten older. I need some glasses to see those small words. I've also got the suit on, if you will. And that's this is what I wear a lot of the major events that we do now. I'm the executive chef and director of operations of the food and beverage program at the Honda Center. So I've combined both roles. And, I don't know how many other arenas have the combined role. I have a fantastic co-director and a great team. I'm not taking any away from that, but I don't know how many people have combined the role of the exec chef and director of the arena. I know hotels have been doing it for a while. That's where I kind of snatched that premise. And I know there's probably going to be comments about the glasses. I still get used to it. Here's the thing. This might be a bit of a rant. I just worked quite a bit, and we had a game tonight, and I'm getting home, and I've been thinking about some things. I've been calling some people. It's in the middle of the holidays. We've all been working a lot, and I think that I need to say a couple of things about what you have to do as a chef, right? Or cook, or whatever, to climb that ladder, bartender to manager to whatever, is that you got to kind of pay a little bit of dues, meaning that you got to be able to work your way up and prove your worth to the business. What does that mean? Well, the one thing I love about our industry is that results really are the only thing that matters. And you need to perform. Now, you need to execute, and no one really cares about your problems, yes, all that. But how do you maneuver yourself to find that next opportunity? I've struggled with this, not from the moving, right? You keep challenging yourself, and you keep pushing yourself. And in that process of doing it, and I'm going to talk very personally about my struggle, because I think that's the only way to do this subject justice. I struggle with it. Even still to this day. Like, I'm putting on the suit, I'm fixing my tie, I've got my dress shoes on, and I'm going to work. I didn't set out to be a guy in a suit going to work. That was like the furthest thing from my mind, to not step into the kitchen per se, right? I've gone to work in a t-shirt and a pair of chef pants, or what I would call chef pants. Most of the time they were, SWAT pants. But I would go to work in that t-shirt waiting to put on the white coat. And, we did a video called, the knife or the clipboard. We'll post a link in the video. You can check that out. But I'm wearing a suit because I'm now at this another level, right? And I often wear, sometimes I'll find myself wearing a chef coat over this or something to that effect. And I remember seeing my first chef that I kind of worked for was a German guy, and he would wear the suit without the jacket, the tie, then he put the chef coat over it. And I always thought that was like interesting, right? And I was like, because, he's going to meetings, very prestigious. And I never knew if I was going to be that person. Now, I mean, hell, I don't even have the chef coat on during the games. And I walk through the kitchens and I walk through the restaurants and everybody, hey, chef, what's going on, chef? What's going on? Very nice. But it's a little surreal. It's a little, and I'm comfortable with who I am and what my skills and how good I can and cannot be, or what my strengths and weaknesses are. I'm totally comfortable with that. But I was just listening to this podcast, and the guy was talking about imposter syndrome. It might have been Joe Rogan, but I digress from that. I am different than what I started as. I'm going to say that again. I'm different. I'm not the same person who started cooking 18 or 20 years ago. I'm not the same person. I'm not the same dad. I'm not the same husband. I'm not the same brother, friend. I've grown. I've changed. You're supposed to not be the same, right? There's a comment on the section, and I'll put that up. It said, best advice ever. You can't be if you want to be a chef, you can't be a line cook for 40 years. And he was talking about something I said in the video. You have to challenge yourself. And when you challenge yourself and you push yourself into these other levels, so these other steps, sometimes you have to not just dress the part, but you have to be the part. Like, hey, you're the director of operations that oversees the entire thing, or co-director, and you've got 700 people or 800 plus employees, and millions of dollars that you're overseeing, not just from a food cost standpoint, which that's that's part of it, but you also have beverage costs, and you also have front of house labor, and everything is your responsibility. It wasn't too much of a stretch for my mind, because I always felt like the executive chef or the chef needed to be a part of that whole property, right? You needed to be involved in every aspect of your establishment, all the way down from the dishwasher, all the way down to the server assistant. You needed to be right as next to the cashier, all the way up to the director. You had to feel it all and be it all. That's what I set out to do. And I know that there's times where I feel like I'm out of my element because I'm looking at myself. I can see what you're looking at. I'm going to go back and watch this, and I'm going to be talking with glasses, and that's different, but I'll be wearing a suit, and I'm discussing to you like this ladder climb, or the ladder climb is part of being comfortable of where you're going to go next. Really, it started with, did I sell out or did I upsell? And that's a question that you probably will pose to yourself, right? In every step of your climb. I used to be a line cook. I used to work the saute station. I used to be the grill person. And now I'm the supervisor. And I'm trying to tell people what to do that I used to go out and get beers with. Or, hey guys, we need to count the inventory again. It's not right. All of these steps are you breaking that shell. And you're going to feel at times that you sold out. Switch it and make it feel like you've upsold or upselled. There you go, upselled. Because you have to push yourself to the next level. Nobody else can do that but you. And for me, I keep climbing, right? And that's just my personality. That's who I am. I'm very ambitious. I've always been that way. And it's one of my struggles. I can't just be. I'm always looking for what's next. And, we talk about, I think that's why I like the running so much is, I talk about that in the last video where I'm talking about how to decompress from the restaurant business. And I was always running towards the pressure to find out what was next, to see what I was capable of. And in each one of those growth patterns or those steps, I was completely oh shit, what have I got myself into? And there's been moments like that in every step of the way. In every process, you should feel slightly uncomfortable. That's when you know you're learning. I'm pretty sure I've said that. But the reason of this video, and as I ponder, and I know that some of you guys will be like, oh, you're taking too long to get to the point. The point is that I'm doing self-reflection and really kind of figure out how to express it to you all to say it's okay. It's okay for you to feel a little bit out of your element, like that imposter syndrome means that you're self-reflecting slightly, right? Like Joe Rogan, right? He's world famous. One of the most popular podcasts was talking on his show just a couple of days ago, and he says, I was on the phone with Johnny Depp, and I was like, holy shit, I'm talking to Johnny Depp. What in the world does this guy want to talk to me for, right? And when you think about it, there's moments of your life that you're going to find yourself, well, you might be talking to Johnny Depp, I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet. But you're going to find yourself like, oh, I can't believe that this is happening or this is where I am. And I think that's awesome. I think that's what you're supposed to do. But it's hard. It's so bloody hard. You know, I was coming home and I knew that I needed to do this shift drink. I knew that I needed to say this, and I knew that I needed to get this out because I didn't know how it was going to come out, but it's something I wanted to say to everyone is like, look, I started as a kid in Tallahassee who washed dishes at a truck stop, and now I live in Orange County, California. I feel very blessed that I have what I have, and I've got the job that I have, and I didn't get there just by luck. I got there through a lot of support from friends, family, and people that I surrounded myself that kind of helped me get there by supporting it. But the number one factor that got me here was my effort and being ready for the show. You got to be ready for those opportunities when they come there. And when you get them, know that as you go through the process of figuring it out what that new step is, that it's okay to be a little bit shocked at what the new you is. I mean, that's what it's about. That's why ECO exists. That's why I created this brand 10 years ago, was we needed something to bind us together. I wanted to be the person that said, hey, this is where I totally screwed up, and this is where I totally could have done better, learn from my mistakes. And it also is because I wanted to see what was out there that was another opportunity that would provide for my family and make a little bit more money. And, you know, how cool would it be to have your own business? And there's so many things that I wanted to do with it. And what I've found is that it's pretty freaking awesome to have this community with you guys on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and sometimes Snapchat, I know. And you can follow me on all those. But I love this process. And no, we're not the biggest, but, you know, we're probably one of the oldest. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we've been doing this a while. And I think the more that we have these shift drinks and these conversations about the process of what it takes to get to that next level, first off, know that you have to challenge yourself. And then when you're in that spot, it's okay that you're in a little bit of shock of where you're at. That means that you're moving forward. And, you know, if there's people that have helped you along the way to get to that next level, I was speaking to one of them today for me who's a huge mentor, and he's telling me, you know, the train doesn't stop. The treadmill of life keeps going. You just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I was like, you know what? You're right, man. I appreciate all the time and effort that he's put into me and all the conversations he's been there for. He's been a huge thing in my life to help me find those next steps. And being able to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, thank you. How you doing this holidays? That kind of stuff means a lot. And one of the ways we felt like as a family that goes all the way back to 10 years ago is that what we want to be is something that binds us together, that recognizes people that look out for each other. So we created a program called Chef ECO of the Month, and that's where you can nominate someone that's made a difference in your career, and they could win $150 worth of ECO gear. And if we choose your letter that you write us, you get $50 worth of ECO gear. And all you have to do is write that letter and email it to chefeco@extremeculinaryoutfitters.com. Like I said earlier, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, and you can hit the subscribe, hit the bell, follow us on YouTube. Please comment below what you think of being that upsell or sell out type of thing. Tell me what you think of the suit or the glasses. I can't wait to hear your comments. The internet will probably roast me on that one. Or I can't express how grateful I am to be able to come home, flip on the camera, and have this conversation, and hope that you guys understand that it's part of the process of looking around and going, holy shit, this is me. This is the next level of me. And that's what we should all be doing. And as always, I'd love to hear what you think. And until next time, cheers. Oh, before I forget, you can click on that link above or over or right, wherever we decide to put it, and it'll take you directly to our store. If you like any of the gear that you see behind me, the hats, brand new, just put those out. It'll take you directly there, and you can buy any of our ECO gear that we have on sale. And until next time, I'll have to say cheers.